Hey guys, Stock Saturday, and it's a red week again, down about 4,000, nothing too huge. Looks like interest rate talk yet again. Inflation, sort of US inflation, didn't look particularly good, not slowing down as much as they'd hoped. Is slowing down a little bit though, so I would still sort of take that as reasonably good. I think the month on month regular CPI was negative actually, minus 0.1%. So yeah, I didn't see that as too bad. But the market doesn't seem happy, sort of expecting a minimum this coming week of 0.75% rate rise. Sort of talking about 1% now for the FOMC meeting. So, yeah, could be rough. People are pricing that in, I think, this week. So this little portfolio hasn't sort of seen too much move other than Hive blockchain. The proof of stake Ethereum merge has happened and was a success. So I guess this has been known for a while, so not quite sure why Hive dropped so much. I thought this would have been sort of priced in, but apparently not. They've got other uses for the cards, they're saying, so they're going to either mine sort of other proof of work blockchains, or the Ethereum forks, or Ethereum Classic, or something else, or use the cards for potential sort of data center purposes and high performance computing. So, yeah, they're not dead, but still seems reasonable value even just with the Bitcoin mining. So, yeah, I thought that was not too bad. I did make the switch from Fortuna Silver Mines into Atalaya mining. So after last week's video, sort of had another look at them, and yeah, thought that was a reasonable buy. They've both gone down this week, sort of fairly similar, so didn't really matter. Even though sort of Atalaya is down on the week, wouldn't have been sort of better off keeping it, or keeping Fortuna. So, yeah, no great worries there. So the ICE is actually slightly up this week, which is strange because it's been a bit of a mixed bag. The REITs sort of not holding up all that well, I guess, again, more sort of interest rate fears. So American Tower down 6%. That's not been too good. Argo with crypto sort of selling off slightly is down 2.7%. Bitcoin itself down 7%. Digital Realty taking a real hit, 10%. I think this is also sort of seeing some articles saying they think some of the bigger cloud sort of data center people like Amazon will be sort of looking to maybe have their own data centers rather than renting off Digital Realty and people like that. So yeah, slight concern, but I'm sure there'll be other customers. So I'm not buying just yet, but keeping an eye on it. First Majestic down 5%. Silver not doing all that well. Stag 3%. Not quite as big a loss, but still a loss. Sylvania, but has been holding up the portfolio. That is sort of the main reason for the gain. So, I mean, metal prices don't seem to be sort of rocketing up. Platinum's up a bit. Rhodium has sort of had a bit of a spike, but seemed to be short-lived. So I think this may be just partly because of the dividend, which is a bit of a shame. I mean, the cash has been there for quite a long while, and the fact they're now deciding to give some of it out as another sort of special dividend, I guess, or just bigger normal dividend, shouldn't really matter. I mean, you should be sort of valuing the company with the cash included, and now it's just going from their bank to your bank. So, yeah, don't quite see why that's worth sort of so much more, but we'll take it. And a very nice dividend coming up in December. So, did briefly go above £1 again, which is nice. Tritax, couple of percent down, not too bad. Eurobox, not even 1%, so nothing too great there. Vici, 1% down, doesn't seem to follow the others down quite so much, does hold up really well. And the other reason for the gain, of course, is with the drop this week elsewhere, the 3x Nasdaq is up nearly 20%. So nearly going green on that again. So not quite sure what I'll do with that, but do still think we've got more downside coming, so I will keep that. Got some dividends this week and did buy another share of this actually. Just sort of bring my average down and see if we do drop, then could be a nice position. Just dividend wise, got £22 from Tritax, and yeah, that was it for the week. And £10 from Stag. FedEx, interestingly, 23% down. I did sell that one in the invest account. Fairly poor sort of outlook for them, guidance, and yeah, people sort of worry if they're not delivering stuff, people aren't buying stuff, and maybe we're seeing a broader decline. So never good news to see FedEx down. Looking at the invest account, so that's down about 2,000. Could be lowering that a great deal. Well, lowering the cash amount, still at sort of 17.5, but sort of got me sights set on a cart. So if that comes down sort of 10 to 12,000 maybe in the next week, then that would be why. Dividend wise, I have not got a huge number of dividends, just fairly large one from Vale. It was a special and an ordinary, so yeah, about £150 there. That's pretty good. And yes, got a free share of Under Armour. Thank you very much to whoever bought that. And yes, the free shares are now sort of closed for now. Don't know quite what they're going to do in 3 days, sort of during the week. Maybe they'll reset it, or maybe they'll just stop it. So yeah, if you want to sign up, maybe use someone else's link, or wait till midweek, and maybe it'll come back. But yes, so the other trade I did make, Intel, finally thought I would get rid of, which I will come back to in a sec. So tech stocks not doing all that well. Alphabet is starting to look quite attractive for me. Sort of, again, people sort of probably expecting a very large earnings decline from them. Sort of if we're in a recessionary period, sort of Facebook are dropping, although it's questionable sort of how much the actual ads are dropping, or if that's just Apple. But yeah, people may be expecting less ad spend. So at the moment on forecasts, they're at sort of forward PE of about 20, which is pretty cheap for Google. So I'm sort of considering topping up at the moment. I sort of made my doomsday pies a long while ago, and some of the things are sort of getting towards where I thought they would be in doomsday times. Barrett, yeah, looking like a reasonable buy when I bought sort of in the low £4 last week. So they've held up pretty well, 2% up. Broadcom, yeah, nearly 4% down. Nothing too drastic, sort of gone with the market. Glencore, basically flat. Nothing to worry about there. Himax, 4% down nearly, although, interesting one, Interactive Brokers have let me into options. So in my little general investment account on there, I've bought a call option for January 2024, so sort of nearly a year and a half away, not quite a year and a half away, for $8. So, or to be $8. So with the fee, I think if it's above sort of $8.60 really in the next sort of year or so, then that'll be well into profit. Or if it even rises from now, it'll probably be in profit. But yeah, so nice little sort of potential bet on Himax. I may be buying some more if because there is January 2025 ones available, so over 2 years away, and you can sort of put them on at like $7 or $8. So yeah, the thought of whether this can go up 30% in over 2 years, I obviously think it can do a lot more than that. So seems a nice little bet for sort of, I think the one call option I bought was £50. So maximum I can lose is £50, and could make a lot more if it does go up. Yeah, so Legal and General, this was the other one that I have been sort of looking at rather a lot, sort of thinking doomsday times. I do still think the sort of wider market maybe has sort of another fair leg down, but sort of seeing some stocks seem to be getting ahead of that, basically, and I'm sort of thinking Legal and General has held up sort of really well, and other things are looking sort of maybe better value at the moment. Can't see this ever sort of really rocketing up, just pays a decent dividend, sort of 7% nearly, and yeah, just sort of a nice safety place to sit, but sort of thinking maybe not need quite so much safety anymore with some of the things that have dropped. I could sell that and put it into Google, or maybe sort of spread it around. So let me know your thoughts. I know some guys will be thinking that's counterintuitive and will be wanting to buy Legal and General sort of on a bit of a drop. It was sort of £3 or so before, but I sort of see it as transferring into more growth stocks, as I've sort of always said I would in the bear market. Right, so Lennar, 5% down. Thought this would sort of be coming down eventually. Didn't seem to be following the UK house builders. And I sort of see the US as a bit of a weaker house building sector. Meta Platforms, yes, 13.5%. So they've had some fairly chunky sort of earnings forecast declines. So not really a huge surprise. They're still basically at a forward PE of sort of 14, despite dropping a great deal over the year. So yeah, it's not necessarily sort of tremendous value, but I do think their sort of metaverse crypto stuff is potentially going to bear fruit later on. So I do think you have to be sort of pro crypto basically to be wanting to buy this. They're sort of seeing more not regulation, but more sort of rules being slapped down by Apple and potentially Google. So they're not going to be able to track people's movements quite so much. So the ads are not targeted, and yeah, just worse worse opportunity overall for businesses, really. So they're not going to want to advertise as much. So basically, you do have to be looking to their future, which is basically the metaverse side. So I could be a buyer. Micron, 8% down. Again, sort of earnings look very shaky, sort of down with the rest of the semiconductor market, but sort of, yeah, Micron's gone a bit further. Nintendo, sort of similar to Legal and General, really, sort of up 4.6% on the week, and sort of they had their Nintendo Direct sort of digital conference, if you like, and didn't sort of blow me away. They've got a new Zelda game coming out, sequel to Breath of the Wild, from the looks of it, so that's quite good, but they haven't sort of had a decent Mario game for quite a while, and there's sort of no new console on the horizon, so just see sort of earnings drifting downwards and downwards really for a good while, and sort of in a bear market, I can't see the market taking that too well. They do seem to be sort of getting held up at the moment on FX gains. I think if you strip out the FX gains from the yen weakening and sort of net off the cash, they're still at sort of forward PE of like 20, which, you know, is Google level. I sort of think, are Google going to be growing more than Nintendo? Probably. So yeah, I am sort of looking at Legal and General and Nintendo really as sort of potential sales, which pains me to say because Nintendo's one of my favourites. But you can't marry a stock, as they say. Porsche, basically flat for the week, surprising. Process down with sort of 10-cent move slightly, 5%. Rio Tinto, 2%, nothing too great. Samsung is down quite a bit, 2.5%, but was sort of higher during the week. But yeah, down with the sort of semiconductor market. Obviously, they have their phone side and sort of consumer side, so it doesn't quite go down as much. But looking quite a nice buy, although they have had some earnings downgrades like everyone else. Shell, basically flat for the week. Now, you might be sort of thinking, why am I not thinking the same as sort of Legal & General and Nintendo? But I still sort of think with high sort of oil and gas prices over the winter that they'll still be doing well, basically. So I think sort of forward PE is a little bit difficult, really, because it's a little unknown as to where earnings are going to be with oil and gas, but sort of around about 7 maybe. And yeah, if they're sort of spending that profit on new renewables, then I think there still could be a potential for PE expansion. So yeah, not looking to sell this one, sort of as with the others. Sony sort of down nearly 5%. So this is my FX champion, pretty much 22% in the green on FX. Stock's actually down 40% from where I bought. So yeah, not looking to buy that really. They're sort of looking a bit shaky. Sort of PlayStation not really taken hold. I wonder if they're still sort of. I thought the supply issues had largely sort of been eased, and they still don't seem to be selling all that much. So maybe it is still a supply problem, but not looking all that good. Stellantis, 0.5% on the week. Nothing too great, but not a drop. So that's pretty good. TSMC, yes. So sold off Intel. A lot of people may see that as sort of quite crazy, considering they've dropped so much, but TSMC has also dropped, and they released their monthly revenue, and it was an all-time record. So the currency has weakened a little bit. I guess that may have sort of been boosted by currency weakness, but it has grown a lot, and it's sort of 60% up on last year. And yeah, they're at sort of forward PE of about 12, 13, same as Intel. And Intel are sort of declining at the moment, obviously spending a great deal to try and catch up, sort of, I guess, partly with TSMC and partly with AMD, really, on multiple fronts. But the graphics card side doesn't seem to be going that well, and AMD still seem to have a reasonably dominant sort of CPU position. So, yeah, just couldn't see. Intel seems to be sort of, it's going to come good in 5 years maybe, or sort of 3 to 4 years, best case scenario. So with TSMC sort of breaking all-time records and being at the same valuation, it just seemed a better bet. Obviously, you've still got the China, Taiwan sort of potential, but that's always going to be there. Presumably Intel would rock it up if there was any sort of incident or special operation. But yeah, so this has become quite a large position now, $8,000 nearly. But I do like them. Taylor Wimpey, flat for the week, pretty good. Again, sort of my buys holding up on the house builders at the moment. Yes, Vale after the dividend payout, 3.9% down on the week. That's not because of the dividend, of course. The ex-dividend date was a while ago. It's just going down, but still looking pretty good. And Volkswagen, yeah, basically flat, same as Porsche. So interesting week. Do you think we've got more rocky times coming up ahead with the FOMC? If they do 1% rise, then could see a fair bit of a drop. And sort of with some more earnings declines, then maybe we do have further to go. But be interesting to see. So leave your thoughts in the comments below on how your portfolio's doing. And like and subscribe. See you soon.